Hello everyone, Shroom Raver here, and I am back with some more post-narrated PU stuff. And first of all, look at those beautiful sprites or models or whatever you want to call them. Aren't they glorious? Especially the flying types with those beautiful wing flaps. I absolutely love it. Anyway, today, as I say, PU stuff against Tamba 06. I'm trying out some new and faintly ridiculous things. I've got specially defensive Pidgeot and specially defensive Luminion with physically defensive Numel. I have a specially offensive Persian with Technician, a double dance Skorupi and a scarfed Skiddo. Now, looking at my opponent's team, two things instantly stand out. That is this guy here and this guy here. Behem is a huge threat. Hits like several trucks, really no matter what it's against. And Clefairy is just an absolute dick. Now, it's important to note Clefairy because 4 of my team cannot touch this guy. Pidgeot, Numel, Persian and Luminion, they can't touch Clefairy. Especially if it's got Magic Guard especially, they can do nothing. Skorupi is really the only thing I have that's going to be able to certainly do a number on the Clefairy. That's important to remember. Skorupi is what I need to take down Clefairy. Anyway, without any further ado, let's just see how this game plays out, shall we? Yes. So I'm going to lead off with comfortably Numel. Tamba goes to Behem. I don't like those odds. I'm going to get out of there, go into Pidgeot, but he pulls the double as well, going into his Seeking. I'm okay with it. Seeking loves to run a defensive set, so I'm going to get a Toxic on him very early. Goes for knockoff, gets rid of my leftovers. It's not a huge problem. I do have the Roost, so that's fine by me. I'm going to go into Luminion. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Look at those swaying wings in the water. Anyway, I'm Toxic now, which is a bit of a problem. I'm not going to be able to get rid of that. I can't touch Seeking, so I go into Pidgeot, who also can't touch Seeking, and he goes into Behem. I want to get a Toxic on this from the get-go, so I do that, and that's nice. Behem goes for Psyshock, and that's a specially defensive Pidgeot, taking that hit. Well played. Love it, love it. Goes into Clefairy. I'm going to test the waters with a Heat Wave, which just does absolute ass for damage. Going to go for the Roost, and Clefairy goes for a Heal Bell, so all that Toxicing work is all for naught. I'm going to directly go into Skorupi to threaten the Clefairy, who goes for the Moonblast, and doesn't appear to have the Flamethrower because just hard switches into Behem as I go for the Poison Jab. Now here, remember what I said about Skorupi? It's the only thing that can definitely take on Clefairy. I waste it going for the Crunch on the Behem, which I was pretty sure wouldn't take it out. And he goes for the Psyshock, which is obviously going to take out Lil Detroit, so I'm in a bit of a fix here. Go into Skiddo, who would be able to outspeed Behem any day, but he goes into Unpheasant. I go for the Double Edge just for overall neutral damage. Don't want to stay in here. Going to go into Numel to take a hit from Unpheasant, who goes for Fly and does a clean 2/3 of my health. I am able to get a Willow off, which is nice, but he does of course pack a Cleric in the form of this guy, Clefairy, who comes straight in as I go for Rocks. Now, Clefairy goes for Heal Bell. I'm just going to again test the waters with the Lava Plume, get a crit, which, you know, I'll take it. Clefairy's very bulky. Goes for a Moonblast, that's doing very little to Numel. Go for a Lava Plume again, get another crit, and I'm thinking that's quite good. Now it's at half health. I'm going to go into my other physical attacker, Skiddo, and try and take it down. Goes for Hyper Voice, and I go for a Leaf Blade and get a 3rd crit in a row. That was desperately unlucky because that Clefairy could have done a number on my team. But I'll take it. In comes Torterra. I am going to switch out to Numel as fodder. Torterra goes for Rock Polish, and that is scary. Goes for Earthquake, that's going to decimate my Numel. So I'm going to Pidgeot, who I think can pretty much take a hit from Torterra. Goes for Wood Hammer, does respectable damage to a defensive-based Pidgeot, who misses the Heat Wave. Pidgeot has a bit of a problem with hitting moves in general. We're going to have words. Anyway, Behem is used as fodder, good play there. And in comes the Gabite. I'm going to go for Roost just to get my health back, as Gabite goes for the Rocks. And we're both at really good health, we're both defensive ones. He goes for Toxic, well sorry, I go for Toxic and miss. He roars me out into my Skiddo. I don't like that matchup one little bit. I'm going to go straight into Luminion, as Gabite goes for an Iron Head, which is, again, is doing nothing to Luminion at all. So here, Gabite's going to be switched out. In comes the Seeking, as I drop a Toxic. And now that his Clefairy is gone, that Toxic is there to stay, and I'm very glad about that, because, as I say, Seeking is a bit more bulky than people tend to give it credit for, as actually is Luminion. So we've got two defensive bastions in the fish world. My leftovers have been knocked off at this point. I've gone for a defog. I'm going to throw up the Safeguard as a last ditch attempt to stop him statusing my entire team. Luminion goes down, but has got the Safeguard up, so I'm happy with that. Bring in Persian, and at the last minute I remember, oh Christ, Lightning Rod, because I was going to go for a Shockwave, but I can't. He knocks off my Expert Belt. That's quite crucial as well. Remember that happened. I'm going to switch out into Pidgeot, as Tamba forgets about the Safeguard, doesn't get a Toxic on my Pidgeot, which is very lucky. Seeking's down to 1% Toxic, but he does want to say that the fodder goes into Gabite, as I go for the Heat Wave and get a burn on the Gabite, which is very lucky indeed. Quite happy with that. And right now I'm just going to be spamming Heat Wave. Gabite first sets up the Stealth Rocks, but none of us really want to switch out at this point. My Safeguard wears off. Again, I'm still just spamming Heat Wave. Gabite goes for Iron Head, which does pitiful damage to Pidgeot, and Burn is wearing him down, so once again just going to go straight up for Heat Wave, as Gabite eventually goes for a Roar and gets me into Persian. Now at this point I do have a secret weapon on Persian, which could come in very handy, but I don't want to reveal it just yet. Gonna switch out, go into Skiddo. Pretty sure I can take a hit from a burnt Gabite, and I do, not particularly well, but I do take it. And now he is going to switch out and go into his Seeking as fodder. Go for the Leaf Blades, take out the Seeking, all fine and dandy. Now in comes Unpheasant, and I'm going to save Skiddo for fodder, go into Pidgeot, and we have some bird on bird action. He goes for Fly, and it's doing a decent amount to Pidgeot, but it's nothing I can't roost off, you know. So he's going to keep on going for Fly. I'll drop a Toxic here, no particular reason why. Knew he was going to outspeed. Goes for Fly once again. Here I am going to be able to drop the Toxic, and again he's got no Cleric left, so that's there to stay. So he's going to go for Fly for a third time. I'm going to quite easily be able to roost off any damage that I've taken. Unpheasant goes for Fly, and I just go for Heat Wave and miss again. Pidgeot, come on now, you're better than this. Anyway, Gabite's in here. I go for Heat Wave and do hit. Doesn't take down the Gabite, but coupled with the burn damage, that wall is going to fall. So in comes the Torterra, and I'm just praying he doesn't set up a Rock Polish. Go into Skiddo as fodder, praying he just goes to try and take me out with Wood Hammer, and he does, so that's great. So, secret weapon time, Persian's in, and boom, Icy Wind, but no Expert Belt. It was knocked off earlier, so Icy Wind is not going to take out Torterra. Further to that, the Wood Hammer recall is not going to take out Torterra either. So Pidgeot's in here, and I'm just going to go for Heat Wave, praying it hits this time, and it does. So it's one-on-one, bird on bird. I should have roosted if I'd have roosted. Things might have gone differently. He gets a crit, but doesn't take me out. Go for the Heat Wave, and at the crucial moment, Pidgeot misses the Heat Wave. Unpheasant's able to take me out next go, and that will be that. So, that was the game. Great game, Tamba. Really close stuff. Down to the wire with that 1-0. And you know, maybe I should have gone for the roost on that last turn instead of gambling with the Heat Wave, but you know, no one wants to win a game by Toxic stalling, so I just thought, gamble, and I lost. You know, it happens. Anyway, that's going to be it from this game and this video. Thank you for the game Tamba06, and thank you everyone for watching. I will see you next time, but until then, laters.